Thanks for watching. This is the Inside Patient Attraction. If you've noticed, if you've been a long-time listener, we're changing the format a little bit. We did all the previous Inside Patient Attractions were sit-down, two-person formats. And I interviewed another expert or one of the experts that we have on our staff and talked about a topic. Hey, thanks, Bob, hailing from Richmond, Virginia. Love Richmond, beautiful city. So the past formats were very structured, right? We had an interview between two people. It was an event that we really thought through the content on and put together. Tonight's going to be radically different. I'm doing this live, as you can tell. I've got a few notes here on some paper here next to me. But other than that, this is going to be off the cuff. So I welcome your comments. You've got the QA area that if you're on in Zoom, feel free to drop some messages into the QA. I will get to all of them before the end of the night. If you're on Facebook, welcome Tony, welcome Daryl, welcome Angela. If you're on Facebook, feel free to drop some comments below the video. Would love to hear from everybody. And as everybody saw, we're going to be giving away $50 Amazon gift cards. I'm not going to tell you yet how to get those. I will tell you throughout the presentation what you can do to get them. There's no bait and switch. You don't have to buy anything. There's no game, but there is an interaction that has to occur for that to happen. And I'll tell you how that interaction can occur here in a couple minutes. So anyway, thanks for watching this new edition, this new format of the Inside Patient Attraction. I'm Colin Receiver. Welcome, Yar. Great to have you on board. I'm Colin Receiver, if you don't know, and coming to you from my home office. Everybody always likes to comment on the decor in the back of me. Some World War II pictures back there, if you're familiar. Looks like my kid's basketball goal is stuck to the door. So welcome, Denny. Welcome, Drew. Long time no see. So new format of Inside Patient Attraction. And we're going to be talking a lot about the economy tonight. Believe it or not, a lot not to talk about. The economy is doing fantastically well. A few short years ago, it was at, 6,500, 7,000 in 2008, 2009 at the bottom, and now we're 24, 25, pinching up to 26,000. So one of the things I want to talk a little bit about tonight is what kind of different patients you're going to attract in a good economy versus a down economy. That's going to be a small touch. What I'm hearing from a lot of dentists right now, January was their best month ever. February is going fantastically well. What can you do to double or triple your practice from here when maybe you're already at capacity, maybe you're near capacity? Things are screaming along, your phones are ringing, your staff is running around again. And what can you do to rein that in and maximize this boom market that we're in right now? And that's really leading into my first item that I want to talk about. Back in the 80s, then President Ronald Reagan famously said, "A rising tide lifts all boats." And it is true that the strong and growing economy that we have, it offers a tremendous opportunity for all businesses, right? We're all in the upswing right now. And most businesses have been positioned to maximize on that. What I want to talk about tonight is the plan for ultimate practice success. I've got a new book that's coming out this summer. It's going to be called Rise Up. And it's all about maximizing and doubling and tripling your practice, how to do it in a scalable and manageable and without sacrificing any quality of patient care, one of the big concerns that I hear from dentists is I'm growing too fast. My patient care, my customer service is suffering. And that's something that you just can't sacrifice. Dentistry is a trust-based profession, and you have to grow and scale in a very systematic way. And we're going to be talking about how to get that done tonight. The old saying, when times are bad, you need to market. When times are good, if you want to capture market share, market. Market today to keep the plaque away is what somebody said once. I think that applies to dentists. So let's jump in here. I want to use a visual here and talk a little bit about where we're at right now in this economy. So right now we're in one of the longest boom economies of the last 100 years. I mean, this is a phenomenal economy that we're into right now. So we're actually the unemployment. Oh, that's a really big marker. Let's see if I can make that pen a little bit smaller. There we go. The unemployment rate right now is sub 4%. Now, this is fantastic. This means that there are abundance of jobs out there. People that want to work all have the availability to work. This is a 17-year low right now. This is one of the best economies we've had, in the last several decades, second to the 90s, which, some of you doctors that have been in this longer, remember the boom time, the golden age, as I call them, of the 90s. Now, let's talk about growth. Right now, we're in the third longest boom cycle that we've ever had as an economy, that we've had in the last 150 years. We're at 8 years and 8 months today, from 2009 to present, right? We are screaming as an economy. The Dow's up. Consumer confidence is on its way up. It's not following the economy straight mano a mano. Let's look at this. The second longest boom cycle. Anybody want to guess when that was? Anybody want to drop a question in here and take a stab at what the second longest boom cycle was? Anybody want to take a stab at it before I just give you the answer here on the page? Okay, I'll go ahead and stick it on here. 1961 to 1969. We had an 8-year, 10-month boom cycle, right? So we are 2 months away from the second longest boom cycle in the history of our country. And of course, I wouldn't be fair to not talk about the longest boom cycle ever. And most of you will remember these great days. It was 1991 to 2001. Great years. 10 years of boom cycle, of constant GDP growth year over year, of business thriving, of the economy doing well, of jobs plentiful. So we are edging up, and we are going to cross the second largest bull market that we've ever had in the history of our country. And I tell you this for perspective. I tell you this because things have been good, things are good, and I don't want to be the guy on the corner holding the end is coming sign. But I also want to make sure that all of our dentists, especially our SmartBox dentists, understand the difference between how to attract patients in bull markets and how to attract patients in bear markets, boom and bust cycles, because they're going to happen. It's part of the economy. The economy grows and it goes up and down, and this is normal. It's the roller coaster of how the economy works. So when I show you these boom cycles, and we're in the almost second longest in the last 100 years, in the last 150 years that we've been tracking this, I show it to you only for perspective that this time that we're in right now has some runway left on it, right? The end is not coming tomorrow. That's not the message I'm here to convey tonight. But I do want you to understand that the good times, eventually the music stops and everybody looks for the chair, and you don't want to be the guy that doesn't have the chair, right? Because that guy gets booted from the game. So how are we going to build a practice that is able to thrive when the times are great, and also able to thrive when the times are not, when we have a down cycle, when we have a bear market in the economy? Welcome, David. Welcome, Dennis. Other David, Tommy, welcome on board. Let's talk about how we're going to build our practice to thrive no matter what the economic cycle, no matter what's going on in the economy. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, French. Welcome, Ellen. Got some late arrivals here. Welcome on board. Glad to have you. how are we going to structure our marketing and our patient attraction systems, our back office systems, our practice as a whole, so that no matter what the economy's doing, it doesn't really matter. We're growing and thriving and sustainable. We've got energized teams. We've got practices that are building bigger, better futures for their owners and for their dentists and the partners that have the stakes within the practices. How are we going to accomplish that? Right now it's a great time to make money. And there's a lot of elective cases out there that you can attract. There's a lot of insurance patients out there that you can attract. And tonight, we have a spectrum of guys across both ends of that world, from associate driven to insurance driven to elective to boutique practices to specialists. And from working with all of those guys over the past 15 years, we're going to show you tonight how you can build a practice that is going to thrive no matter what these boom and bust cycles look like here. So, obviously our motto at SmartBox is more and better patients, higher case value prospects. Hey, it's a win-win. You're going to work less and you're going to earn more. And for those of you that know my backstory, my dad, Dr. Ron, receiver, everybody makes fun of me. I call him Dr. Ron all the time, but that is the nature of having a father that's a dentist. That is the more or less the prototype for what we built at SmartBox to help dentists thrive. My dad started off as a GP. He, did the traditional roller skating between the rooms, and did that for many years, from 1981 through 2005. And that was when he made the decision that he wanted to do something different, that he didn't want to be on roller skates. And that's what his upcoming seminar is going to be about in May. The practice transformation seminar that he's putting on. If you're interested in that, I can send you some more information. I'm not going to get into that tonight. But attracting higher case value patients, it gives you that work-life balance. It allows you to provide for better satisfaction. To see a patient that comes in that hasn't been able to eat or chew or really live their life because of their oral health, or their edentulous, or their dentures don't fit, or they're embarrassed to date or go out to eat or bite into an apple, and then you're able to change that for them. That's true satisfaction. That's fulfillment of your trade. And our goal is to keep dentists doing the dentistry, to take that away from them. So I want to show you tonight how we're helping dentists to build economy-proof practices. Boom cycles, bust cycles, it doesn't matter. If you're the expert in your market area, if you're the guy that your patients look to, right, when they need some kind of treatment, you're going to be the guy that they call. You're going to be the dentist that gets the work. So let's go into, I want to clear the screen here, and let's talk a little bit about what are the pillars of this system I keep referring to. I want to give you something tangible here. Welcome, Danny. So let's talk a little bit about how this looks on paper, because my goal tonight, and for those of you that have come in late, the $50 Amazon gift cards, we're going to be giving those out here in a few minutes. I'll tell you how to claim those. I told the early arrivers that there's no purchase, there's no gain, but there is an engagement that has to occur between us to claim that card. So I'll tell you about that in just a second. My goal for you all here tonight is to leave with information, armed with information that you can deploy into your practices that will help you attract more and better patients. So I want to walk you through how a four-pillared marketing approach looks, actionable data that you all can put into play and build that bigger, better future for your practice. So there's four pieces to this puzzle: attraction, conversion, follow-up, and tracking. These seem pretty simple on their face. Everybody thinks they're doing all four of them. Less than 3% of dentists we find across the United States are actually doing all four of these. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, is what does this look like? What does a patient attraction system that hits every point across the spectrum, so that these patients are just inundated with your information without being overwhelmed? You dominate your market area and you set yourself up as the expert to attract these better kinds of patients. So first off, I think the core tenet of attraction is, what is exactly the opposite of attraction? Well, you're not pursuing, right? I think this is so important. I'm going to put stars next to it. You can't pursue if you're attracting people. These are opposites. These are magnetic polar opposites. You don't chase, right? We're not offering discounts, no discounts. We're not doing Groupons. We're not doing special offers. Now, I'm going to exclude special consultation type deals. When I say special offers, I mean price driven, right? Free, right? This is not what we're doing. If you came on here to hear about the latest, best free offer that you can run that is going to send patients in your door, I'm sorry to report it's not there. Our most successful dentists charge for consults, and it's actually a flip from how you think it works. And I want to talk a little bit about the psychology behind that tonight as well. I'm a big fan of Robert Cialdini. Got a stack of his books over here behind me on the floor that I'm taking into the office. I bought 50 of his books and his new influence book in Persuasion, and I'm going to be handing them out I'm giving them to our entire staff. And it's amazing information. If you don't have influence, if you don't have persuasion, get a copy of it. It's fantastic. So attraction, by definition, you're not pursuing, you're not chasing, we're not doing discounts and Groupons and special offers. We don't do free, right? There's better ways to position yourself. Let me make a little bit of room here. Now, what do we need to do? Well, first off, we need to achieve what I call expert status. Expert status, I hinted on it a little bit earlier. When you have expert status, you are the dentist in your market area that your patients are going to call, that they are seeking out. If you're the Invisalign, implant, orthodontic, denture, cosmetic, restorative, whatever it is, this is not a specialty in the dental terminology sense. We have no intention of referring to you as a specialist. This isn't a unethical marketing ploy. What this is you have to understand, dentistry is a trust-based profession. Nobody goes to see a dentist that they don't trust. It just doesn't happen. You don't let somebody have that kind of intimate of a relationship, in such a vulnerable position if you don't trust them. And the higher the transaction size, the more trust that is required for them to accept the treatment that you propose. So in other words, if they just moved into the area and they're coming in for a free x-ray and exam or a new patient consultation, that's a very low level of trust. They're willing to dip their toe in the water and come in and learn a little bit about you. Now, if they are edentulous or they've had dentures for 20 years and their bone is resorbed and they've been told by 3 dentists that there's nothing they can do besides dentures, and you run an advertisement that says you can change their life with dental implants, that's going to require a very high level of trust. And trust isn't built the first time they land on your website. So building that expert status, which I'm going to talk about in the next 3 pillars here, gaining that trust, right? Trust is what it's all about. If they don't trust you, first off, if they don't like you, if you're not a likable dentist, they're not going to trust you. And if they don't trust you, they're not going to accept treatment. So if you think that being a dentist is all about just telling your patients what they need and not building that relationship with them, I'm sorry to say I'm not going to be able to help you tonight. I don't mean that rudely or arrogantly, but I am a firm believer in relationship dentistry and empathizing with your patients and understanding them. And, some of these corporate dental chains that are out there where it's just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. There's no relationship. It's just commission driven. I personally think it's awful, but that is the state of the medical industry and dentistry these days. If that's your focus, we're not going to be the right fit. The information is truly not going to help you in your practice. The dentists that that this information is going to help are the ones that are looking to be liked and be trusted by their patients. And that's what Attraction is all about. It's about getting in front of the right people to build your tribe, as Seth Godin puts it. Let's move on to the next column, conversion here. Conversion is all about getting that first blip of trust, that first foot in the door with them. Now, a lot of dentists that I talk to, they say, especially the older ones, the ones that lived through the 80s and 90s, even the early 2000s, I find this a lot. They say, gosh, Colin, I used to get free consults all the time. They say I used to, have all these patients that would come in, they would see me, they would see my office, and they would love me, right? And when they got in and they saw me and they liked me, it was done. It was a done deal. But patients don't want to come in and they don't do these free consults like they used to. What's changed? What's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's changed. They don't have to, right? Your first impression is not your office. It's not your front door. It is this thing right here. If you remember, Al Gore invented this thing called the internet right here. And this is your first impression. This is where your patients go. What are they going to do? They're going to see your reviews. They're going to see your videos. They're going to see your testimonials from your existing patients. They're going to see I cleared it out there. There we go. They're going to see your content. They're going to see your social media. They're going to see information. I call it educational-based marketing, right? Because anytime you can educate your prospects, anytime you can teach them or help them to understand something better, you're putting yourself in that position of authority. What are you doing when you're educating your prospects? You're creating this expert status right here. That is the goal of all of this. And I want to talk to you about how this educational-based marketing works because it leads right into the next pillar. Next pillar, follow-up. How are you going to stay in front of these patients and cases? What are you going to do? Because the first time they come to your website, they don't care about you. They've got a pain or a problem they're trying to fix, and they're looking for the solution to it. How are you going to keep your name in front of them as they go down through that list on Google to make sure that you have a chance to build that trust and build that rapport with them? Well, I'll tell you, there's this awesome thing called retargeting. First off, this is the easiest thing you can do. If you've ever gone to Amazon and you've looked at that new chainsaw, or you've looked at that new crocheting needle, or you've looked at that new Apple Pen or iPad, you know that those products just follow you around the internet until the end of time. And you can't get rid of them. They keep popping up on your windows everywhere. Every website you go to, there's that friggin' iPad that keeps following you. That is retargeting. You can do the same thing with your patients so that you keep your name in front of them until you've established that name recognition, right? Retargeting is a great way to start to build that relationship. Email marketing. What better way to gain a patient's trust than to send them more information about yourself? I've never met a dentist that wouldn't want to send more information to a prospect about how he can help them and how his clinical training and his expertise can benefit the patient. So if you go to our website, smartboxdentalmarketing.com, you'll see that we offer free reports throughout our website. You'll see we offer various things that you can input your email or your first name or last name, and then we'll send you stuff, right? So two things have happened in this exchange. If you want to see it in practice for a dentist, go check out my dad's website, newalbanyimplants.com, newalbanyimplants.com. In fact, what I'll do here, let's actually do it live right now. This is cool. I want to take a minute and pop out here and do this. So newalbanyimplants.com. Hang on, I got a typo. newalbanyimplants.com. All right, so this is Ron's site. This is actually about a 2-year-old website. We're getting ready to relaunch his brand new presence here in the next probably 6 weeks. It's really going to be awesome. We're in the final prototyping and build out phase right now. All right. Come on, internet. Make this work for me here. Here we go. So here's Ron's website. You drop on his website, the first thing you see Ron talking. We've got a very heartfelt video. My dad was born with a partial cleft palate, which led him into his dental career. And he talks a lot about his experience and his story. Ron's the expert. If you're within 300 or 400 miles of Louisville, Kentucky, you come to Ron when you need dental implants, when you want to be able to chew all your solutions in one place. Now, right here, you'll notice, let's see if I can do a highlighter here. No, I don't think it's going to let me do a highlighter. Here we go. Yeah, check this out. This is awesome. I love this Zoom. You can, right here, you can opt in to get information. So you come in here and you say your name is Colin and my email address. I'm going to give everybody my private email address here tonight. This could be dangerous. All right. So your patients can come here and they can get a free copy of your new book. In this case, Ron is going to actually hard mail a book out. We email a PDF of the book as well. Oh, it's not going to let me do it live. It's going to block it. Our spam blocker is going to, yep. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry, our webinar software throws off our spam detection somehow. So right now I've got an emailed copy of this book in my inbox. Now, if I'm a patient and I want a hard copy, now this is a hard copy book, right? Bam, lay it on the desk. And that is what it is, right? Emails have a lifespan of a couple hours. Your hard copy materials that you can get in front of your patients, where you can go in here and they can enter all their information and they get a perfect bound, professional, hardback looking book, right? This book, literally this book right here will mail to them. And that has immense expert status behind it, right? You're the guy that wrote the book. Don't die with your teeth in a glass, teeth for life. We've tested a bunch of different topics. Of course, you can just download your copy here right now if that's all you want. Click here to download, and it's gonna pop the book right into the browser. Let's see if it'll work here. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, it stopped displaying on my screen here when it kicked over to the PDF viewer. Yeah, so anyway, go to Ron's website if you want to check this out for yourself. I'll send this link out afterwards. So this is the follow-through, the follow-up. How do you build that expert status, right? This is the number one thing you can do. You can follow up and keep your name in front of these prospects until they're ready to until they're ready to accept that treatment and hear from you, right? And especially when you get into the discretionary income, the elective case stuff, this is critical. This is how you get it done. So we talked about the follow-up, right? We've been talking about this third silo here. The last column, before I X'd out of the screen, we're talking about tracking. Accountability is paramount. And I cannot stress enough that accountability is paramount. I hear from dentists all the time that have call tracking, right? And call tracking, while it's great, you know, I hear from dentists all the time that don't even use call tracking. Call tracking is old tech. If all you're doing is tracking your calls, you are missing a substantial amount of data that can be utilized and harvested within your practice to build that bigger, better future for yourself. Call tracking is a step, but the one thing that, you know, when we started working with dentists, we did call tracking. 10 years ago, we were doing call tracking. And what we found is that, yeah, we can track these calls. We can even record all the calls, but we never found a great fit between the data that we have, the immense amount of data of call tracking, and getting our doctors to take time out of their busy lives and busy schedules, and their office managers or their marketing coordinators or their partners or whoever it may be, to sit down and really listen to all of the calls. So what we did several years ago is we built a whole new division at SmartBox. And I want to tell you about how this works, because you don't have to use us. You can do this yourself. I want to show you how we do it so that you can see the value in the kind of data that we're able to extract. Our call quality team, one of a kind in the industry, what we do, we actually listen to every call that comes in, right? And what we're able to extract, we're looking for three main criteria, three categories of information that are coming in through those calls. One is scheduled new patients. Two is not scheduled new patients. And then, of course, the why behind it, right? Because we all want to know, why didn't that new patient appoint? And third, calls not answered. This is the scary part. Most dentists that I survey think that their front desk is doing a really good job. And I think that's pretty well across the board, because obviously, if you thought your front staff wasn't doing a good job, you'd be doing something to fix it. I think that's pretty fair to say. What we find is dramatically the opposite. The average dental office that we go into and we baseline is not answering 32% of their calls. They're not answering them, right? Their front office staff is floating to the back and floating to the front. They have two people on the phones up front, but they take lunch at the same time. Or they don't take lunch at the same time, but one takes lunch 11 to 12 and the other takes lunch 12 to 1. And unbeknownst to the doctor, the highest call volume of the day is between 11 and 1, and one person gets overwhelmed on the phones. You take your average dental practice that's doing $1 million, 1.5, 2 million a year, and you say that they have, let's say the average practice we work with has total, let's say 80 new patients a month, and because they're thriving, they're doing well, 40 new patients a month are from referrals, right? Half of our new patients are from referrals, and the other half, 40 new patients a month, are from internet, right? So they get 80 new patient calls a month, half and half between referrals and internet, and they're not answering 32% of them. So somewhere around, let's do the math here, 80 times 0.32, 26 calls are unanswered. That's 26 opportunities. Now, I don't need to do the math. You can say these are worth $1,000 a pop. You can say they're worth $1,500 a pop. You can say they're worth $100 a pop if you want. I don't care what number you want to say they're worth. The point is, you just threw 26 new patients out the door per month. Now, I'm not going to give you the Jay Geyer sales pitch here because, frankly, you don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars on your phone training to make sure that your front office staff is performing at a high level. What I am going to show you is how to get this data and aggregate it very quickly, because I think that's the key. You've got to get the data and understand the data. And let's look at, the biggest hurdles. Like I said, the biggest hurdle in practices is they don't have the time to do it. When you get in and listen to the calls and you see that, hey, 32% of the calls went unanswered. Now, of those, split between calls that were scheduled, new patients that were scheduled, and patients that were not scheduled, and you're only appointing at 50%, right? So you had 80, you didn't answer 26 of them, then you only appointed 50% of the ones that were left over. So 80 minus 26 is 54, divided by 2 is 27 new patients a month. Now, if you're a practice that's getting 25 or 30 new patients a month, I would start right here with how you can double your practice next week without spending another dime on marketing. And I'm a marketing guy telling you this. Look at your calls not answered and look at your new patients not scheduled. Let's say you take this same 80 phone calls coming in and you answer 90%, right? 80 times 90% means you answered 72 calls, and then you appoint at 80%, right? That means you just got 72 patients appointed at an 80% rate. You just got 58 new patients combined to what we average see in the other practices, 25 to 27 new patients a month. You want to talk about substantial impact. That's huge. I don't want to dive in too deep here. I want to move on. This is the tracking aspect. You've got to have accountability. I'm going to write this all throughout the night. I'm going to write this. Accountability. You've got to have accountability with whatever marketing you're doing. You've got to have the ability to track what you're doing. If you're not tracking, if things aren't accountable, you have no idea what you're really getting or not getting. We have found from our data that when your front office staff, when they ask, how did you hear about us? Right? Every front office staff is trained to ask, how did you hear about us? We found that they have a 62% incorrect rate. Now, I'll preface that with most patients, they don't tell you the wrong answer because they're trying to trick you or be spiteful. They truly just don't remember. Unless you're a practice that only has one piece of marketing running at a time, your patients have probably seen multiple pieces of marketing. Marketing is all very synergistic. And when you're coming at them from multiple angles, when you have multiple modes of marketing, especially when you're dominating online, you have videos and social and web and email and testimonials and reviews and all these pieces. Patients don't remember what they saw last. They just say, hey, they saw your website. They don't know which one it was. That's why it's so important with consumers digesting 10, 12, 13 sources of information right now before they make that buying decision, that you've got to get out there and you've got to dominate the internet. So critical these days to get that done. So let me reference back to my notes. I've run off on some tangents here. Follow-up, tracking, we've gotten through it all. Let's get back to what do these four pillars look like? How can this work for you once you get the four pillars built, once you get these installed in your practice? I generally say start from the end. If you're not going to do this as a complete system, if you're not going to call somebody like Smartbox and say, I want to do all of this and I want to do it right now as one big push, I generally suggest people start from the end and work backwards, right? There's no worse feeling than spending $10 or $50 or $100,000 on marketing only to then find out that you have a phone problem or you have an appointing problem or you have a conversion problem or a follow-up problem. So when you're working through these issues in your practice, start with the tracking first, right? Get the phone lines tracked, get them monitored, right? Review the calls, right? Ron reviews his calls every week. They do a 30-minute phone training every week where they're listening to live calls from the previous week. If you want to see a rock star practice in action, start monitoring your phones and listen to them every week. From there, go back to your follow-up, right? This is also low-hanging fruit. Get email follow-up in place. Get retargeting in place, right? Start building that tribe that Seth Godin talks about. If you want to read, get Seth Godin's book, Godin. Great series of books he has. From here, go back and start looking at your conversion, right? Look at what you need to do. Get testimonials. Get reviews going. Get your social proof. Robert Cialdini, if you like the book Influence Persuasion, I talked about it. I buy a copy of their books for every employee I have. And that social proof is so critical to your practice, being trust-based, being relationship-based. If you want to build your practice and be the expert, you've got to have this social proof right here. Get these things going, right? Video is greater than text, right? Google reviews are great, but short form, I got that backwards. Where's my eraser here? Let's erase this thing. Short form is not as good as long form, right? So your short form Google reviews are okay. They're Google reviews. They're going to be short and punchy. If you want to really wow people and set up that expert status, you don't want just, text reviews, right? You don't want just short form text reviews. What you want is long form video testimonials. These are things that, you can do it yourself. I don't buy into that modality. If you look at some dentist websites, they have the cell phone camera that's shaking and they're holding it up and patients talking and the lighting's horrible and it's got a clinical operatory in the background. And, you got to realize if you're working with, especially boomer patients, they've got fear of the dentist. You've got to assuage those fears. You can't be, having instruments sitting out when you're shooting patient testimonials. It's just not cool. There's a wedding photographer, no doubt, in your area. If you want to go the cheap route, hire a wedding photographer and they can do something for you. If you're going to go with somebody that does a soup to nuts system like we do, we send our video team out to 20 practices, 30 practices a month, roll through. We help you set up patient testimonials. We do the whole thing for you. Video testimonials are your way to go. Get those long form testimonials. If you're concerned about the board in your area, sometimes we have dentists that are concerned about using testimonials. I can tell you that the way we do testimonials is okay to use in all 50 states. We've got clients in all 50 states that are doing it. Canada, the laws are a little bit different if we've got any Canadian folks on here. But we still do have clients in Canada that are using testimonials and reviews in just a more conservative way. Let's do a quick poll here real quick. I want to launch a poll here. How many patients are you getting right now from your online marketing? And let's see. Unfortunately, you folks on Facebook cannot participate on the poll. You have to be on the Zoom to participate on the poll. So go ahead, click in there. How many patients are you getting right now a month from your online marketing? I'll give everybody a couple minutes here to weigh in, and I'll keep trucking here. So you got to know your results. You got to know your answers. You got to know your results and track them if you want this to work out for you. Give everybody a couple more seconds. I'll give about 60 seconds to vote. We're at about 50 seconds right now. So if you want to tune in, if you want to weigh in and vote, I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the poll is closed. So let's see. 40-ish% of you all are getting 30 to 50 new patients a month. 20-ish% you have no idea what kind of marketing, what kind of new patients you're getting per month. That's scary to not have any idea how many new patients a month you're getting. The rest of you are in the 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20 range. There's always potential in those ranges. You all that are 30 to 50 patients a month, you guys are looking to go to the 50 to 100 range. And there's all kinds of potential there too. So getting this conversion, this social proof. And then what I'll tell you is, again, if you're not going to do this as a patient attraction system, if you're going to do this piecemeal, the last thing you should do, after you get your tracking, your follow-up, your conversion, the last thing you should do, right, when you're going backwards here, I'm going to clear the screen because I'm out of space, is your attraction, right? You've gotten all these things set up. You've gotten the expert status stuff. You've got the tracking. You've got the follow-up. You've got the retargeting. You've done all these things. And now what should you be doing? Now let's drive traffic to it. SEO, pay-per-click, your PR, your newspaper ads, whatever it is you want to do here, right? Facebook ads. This is the final lever you pull when you want to grow your practice. And unfortunately, what we see all the time, this is the first lever that practices pull. They think they have a visibility problem. They don't have a visibility problem. They have a conversion and a follow-up and a tracking problem. And this is what we're able to help dentists do, is to really break down this sales funnel in their practice and to show them how do you move patients through these, we call them stage gates, attraction, conversion, follow-up, and tracking, to create this bigger, better future. These attract more and better patients into their practice. And this is ultimately the last piece of the puzzle to make that patient attraction system really thrive and get running. So for those of you that have been waiting, let's talk about the Amazon gift cards. I know everybody is anxiously waiting for what this looks like. And here's the deal. We offer a $50 Amazon gift card. No purchase necessary. Oh, I don't know what the word nor means. My pen got away from me. No purchase necessary. Right? So here's how this works. If you are interested in claiming a $50 Amazon gift card, we've got, how many people on this now here in Zoom? Let me look. 212 right now, 213, 210, fluctuating a little bit. I'm going to offer the first 50 to claim the gift card, right? I can't give $250 Amazon gift cards away. Sorry to burst everybody's bubble. If you want to get a gift card, there's only one thing you got to do, is you got to let us do an evaluation on your marketing. It's complimentary. It is what we call our patient attraction roadmap. It's a comprehensive look at everything you're doing, from your attraction, conversion, follow-up, tracking, in-depth look at what you need to do to grow your practice, to create a bigger, better future, to attract more and better patients, right? That's the name of the game. Attracting more and better patients, having a thriving practice that can support your lifestyle, that can support your family, that can send your kids to the schools they need to go to, that can ultimately just simply provide the lifestyle that you want to live. If you're interested in getting one of these audits, we give a $50 Amazon gift card away for allowing us the opportunity to talk with you about your marketing, go through our patient attraction roadmap, and then ultimately we'll send you our whole strategic plan. Your strategic plan will be yours to do with what you want. We'll show you how we can build a patient attraction system that can deliver guaranteed 20, 30, 50, even 100 new patients a month. When we build out our plan, we'll talk to you about how many new patients, what's your gap, right? You're at 5 or 10 or 50 new patients now. You want to get to 20, 30, 50, or 100 new patients. We'll build you a strategic plan to bridge that gap, and we'll back it up with our guarantee. And our guarantee is ironclad. Our guarantee is, if we don't deliver the number of new patients that we promise, we'll give you months of service for free until we make that up. It's very simple. It's very simple. And I think every marketing company should offer it. If you have confidence in what you do, you should offer a guarantee. When you buy a new house, you get a new home guarantee. When you buy a new car, you get a guarantee. Everywhere you buy things, you get guarantees because they have confidence in their product. And sometimes you see these guarantees that are, kind of wishy-washy, and I don't believe it. We've been doing this for too long. We've got 600 clients across the U.S. right now. The amount of data that we have from all of our practices that feed into the results, and the big data that we can crunch to see, hey, this is working and this not, and this works over here in California and this works in New York, and we're really seeing this strategy work down in Florida. If you're not working with somebody that works with dentists, if you're not working with somebody that understands dentistry and dental patients and fears and embarrassment, if you're not working with somebody that frankly has a large sample size of dentists to know what's working and what's not, I just don't understand how those practices can really thrive, because there's so many nuances to dentistry. There's nuances to patients. I tell you a funny story. Actually had a dentist come to me about a year ago, and he was working with a local agency, had a good relationship with this agency, and they had a good rapport. It was his friend or whatever. And this agency did a lot of work with, believe it or not, used car dealerships. And when I went and looked at this dentist website, it might have been the most awful thing I ever saw in my life. It was screaming used cars. And the funny part was I had no idea. As I was talking to this doctor, I said, man, your website, it screams to me like an annoying used car dealership lot. And he just kind of got this glum look on his face. And he was like, yeah, you know, the guy I'm working with does a lot of used car lots. And I was like, oh my God. No wonder. It all makes sense now. So here's how you claim this. If you're interested in $50 Amazon gift cards and getting a practice roadmap, a patient attraction roadmap, there's only two things you got to do to get the process started. Go out to our website, smartboxdentalmarketing.com. You'll see this button here that says Get Started, right? Click on that Get Started button. It's going to put you to this page right here. Fill out these 4 fields. In fact, I'm going to walk you through it right now. We're going to fill this out. So I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like when you do it. You're going to fill this out with your name and information. If you put my name and information in, that means I get the $50 Amazon gift card and you don't. So if you want to come on here and enter my name, please do. I'll spend some Amazon bucks on myself. So, if I could remember my phone number. If you would prefer to do this by phone, if you aren't wanting to do this by web, feel free to write this number down here, 502-509-1413. This is a direct line to my practice consultant, Ashley. She will be able to get this process started for you by phone. Obviously, it is almost 10 p.m. at night, and she's not sitting at her desk right now. She will be there 9 to 5 throughout the week, every week. If you want to do this by phone, I would encourage you, since I'm only giving this away to the first, 30 folks that sign in, I'd encourage you to do this by web. Because if you're not one of the first 30, as much as I want to help as many dentists as I can, I simply can't give away unlimited $50 gift cards. So come in here, hit submit. It's going to forward you to a scheduling page. This is going to pull up Ashley's live calendar, right? Come in here. I'm in the Eastern time right now. Whatever time zone you're in, you select that time zone. It's going to show you her calendar for the rest of the month. You can come in here and say, hey, I want to book a time on the 27th at 9:15 a.m. We're going to confirm that time. It's going to finalize it. It's going to send you a confirmation email. You're going to plug your website in here first, right? So I told you that we're going to do a complete review of your web presence. We're going to give you our patient attraction roadmap. So you're going to plug your website in here so that we come into this call. We're not going to waste your time. Our process takes 2 phone calls to complete. We're going to do this initial discovery call. We're going to review your goals. We're going to capture your information. We're going to have some general information from you. We're then going to go back to my team. I'm going to sit down and put together what we call your patient attraction roadmap. This is a strategic plan that we're going to send to you by postal mail. It's a physical plan that we're going to put together showing you all your strengths and weaknesses, what you need to do to attract 20, 30, 50, 100 new patients a month. What are your expectations from this meeting? I want to learn how to attract more and better patients. I want you to answer honestly here. If you don't answer honestly, we can't help you, right? We can get you to whatever outcome you want to get to, but you have to tell us what that outcome looks like. My mobile number, sorry guys, I'm not putting my cell phone in here. I don't even give my friends my cell phone number, but I will repeat our direct sales line with this here. You can check this little box. We'll send you text reminders too that your appointment is coming up. And then at the designated time, Ashley will give you a call. So we'll go through this discovery call. We'll send you our roadmap package. We'll have a second phone call with you to review everything, answer any questions you have. And if you like what we do, great. We're glad to help you. If not, the Amazon gift card will be in the package before you even have that second call with us. So if you get the package in the mail and you say, man, this is the biggest bunch of baloney, you don't even have to have the second call with us. You're going to have your Amazon gift card in hand. I think you'll have some questions after reviewing it. Every dentist does. Is this practical? Is this realistic? Can this really be done? How does this work, or how does that work, or why are you doing these two strategies together, or what's the psychology behind this? And, so let's go ahead and click done here. Confirm the booking. You will get an email that confirms it. Your booking is confirmed. It'll send you this by email, and you're done. We'll call you at the designated time, get this process started, and that'll be it. You'll be on your way to that bigger, better future, attracting more and better patients. Really what it comes down to is attracting the types of new patients that you want. And I say that with emphasis on you because it's got to be growing the type of practice that you want. When my dad started out, he was doing GP, and he did that for 24, 25 years. And that was good. But, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say 25 years of doing general dentistry on roller skates in between the rooms, your neck takes a toll, your back takes a toll. And of course, they have more ergonomic stuff available these days. But he's been able to slow down. He's got 2 associates now, and he's producing more than he ever produced in his life, and he's working 2 days a week. So I think that's the real success story here is, he does the dentistry he wants to do on his terms. And that's really what the seminar that we're putting on is about. And I don't want to detract from this event here by talking too much about it, but I will throw this up here so that you all can see it. Practice Transformation Seminar.com. This event, it's going to be in person. It's a 2-day event. This is my dad, Dr. Ron here. It's going to be in May, talking about how he's done everything from case acceptance to marketing systems to back office systems to treatment plans to, the clinical side of surgical training and everything he's done to transform himself into the premier implant specialist in the greater Louisville area. So if you want to check this out, practicetransformationseminar.com. You can get the full details. We're providing breakfast and lunch. We offer 100% money back guarantee. I call it our bourbon ball guarantee. Here's how the bourbon ball guarantee works. If you sign up for our seminar and you come, if at the end of the first day you think this is a big bunch of baloney, I don't like it, you don't even have to tell us why you don't like it. I don't care. We'll give you 100% of your money back. I'll write you a check on the spot. We'll pay for your taxi back to the airport, and we'll even send you with a box of good old Kentucky bourbon balls. Being in Louisville, Kentucky, Derby town, we pride ourselves on a few things here, and our bourbon balls are the best in the world. So if you like sweet candies, we'll send you with a box of them. And I think that's what it really comes down to is, you got to have confidence in your product. And, we've done this for a long time. Ron's done this for a decade now. He made the leap from general practice to specialty practice. And if you want to come and learn, he's pumped up about it. I haven't seen him this excited in a while. And, love to have you there to learn and show you, go read the page, see all the points that we're talking about. Getting some questions in here, so I'll pop in and start answering a few of them. What about practices that are already doing over 200 patients a month? Great question, Robert. We work with, small DSO practices, multi-group, multi-location practices that are doing 200, 300, 400 new patients a month. I think the biggest question that I have to ask you is, what's your goal? If you're at 200 and you want to go to 300, there's the gap that you need to make up. You need to find 100 new patients out there to grow your practice to your goal. To get to that bigger, better future that you have in your head is 300 or 400 or 500 new patients a month, or you want to buy 10 more practices, or you want to expand your current practice and add 6 ops, or, we've got a practice that runs 2 shifts in their office, and they are just a machine. They've got 9 or 10 operatories, and they had so much work to do and such great systems and marketing that instead of opening a second practice, they hired a complete second shift, and they run a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and a 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. shift or 9 p.m. shift. I forget how it works, but it's incredible. And they have, of course, only the same overhead for their practice and their equipment. Of course, you have your people expense. But yeah, Robert, the best answer I have for that is, where do you want to go? If you're happy where you're at, have a sustainable marketing campaign that's going to make up for your attrition, right? Because you're always going to have attrition with any practice. Patients are going to, unfortunately, die. They're going to move out of the area. They're going to move to another dentist. So you've always got to be replacing what you're losing, that slow bit of attrition. If you're saying, hey, I'm at 200 now and I want to go to 300, what's the ramp up plan, right? How are we going to get to 100 more new patients a month? What systems, what capacity do you have in your practice right now? Can you support another 100 new patients a month? So these are some of the questions I like to ask. I've never heard a dentist say, well, I have. We've actually got a practice that said they just simply don't want any more new patients. They're a smaller practice. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere, Midwest city. It's a strange situation where their practice is landlocked and they don't want to move, and they simply don't want any more new patients. So they're on just a kind of trickle marketing plan, minimalistic, just to keep their practice sustained and where they're at. The biggest question is, what do you want to do? I hope that answered your question. Feel free to drop another question here, Robert, if you have a follow-up to that one. So Ron Seminar, if you're interested in this, pop in here, grab it. Our Bourbon Ball No BS guarantee. That's going to be fantastic. It's going to be an awesome event. It's not advertised, but we're going to have a little kind of VIP hour the evening of the first night. So if you're interested in getting some one-on-one time with Ron or myself, we're both going to be there today. This is Ron's event, but we're going to be there to support him and help. We've done events before and he hasn't. So our purpose there is really more as facilitators for him than SmartBox. This is it's going to be held at the Hyatt downtown Louisville. Louisville Airport is pretty easy to get in and out of. It's just a couple minutes from the airport, so it's a super easy flight in and out. A couple other items. I've also got a new book coming out this summer. You ought to check it out. Rise Up: The Keys to Ultimate Dental Practice Success. It's going to be fantastic, talking about changes, really summing up what we've done here on this presentation tonight, talking about how do you build a practice that's going to sustain the boom cycles, the bust cycles. I still see people joining in here throughout the night. Larry, Travis, John, Carrie, Andrew, Shazad, welcome guys. Candy. So how do you we're in the third longest boom cycle we've ever had right now. It is generally pretty easy to attract new patients in today's world in 2018. Attracting the right kinds of patients is what takes a little more maneuvering. And how do you set yourself up so that, you all that were on this presentation earlier, you heard me talking about, the boom cycle that we're in right now. So, you heard me say the third longest boom cycle, right, is right now, 2009 to present, right? And this is 8 years, 8 months. The second longest boom cycle was 1961 to 1969, and that's 8 years, 10 months right now. So we are 2 months away from having the second longest boom cycle, continuous GDP growth in the history of our country. And of course, most guys remember the first longest boom cycle was 1991 to 2001, and that lasted for 10 years. So we're edging up on what could become the longest boom cycle in the history of our country. Most dentists are going to have a great ride for the next 2 years. even a year if the boom cycle lasts that long. I don't pretend to be able to tell the future. How do you position your practice to be ready when that boom cycle turns into a bust cycle, when that bull turns into the bear, and have your practice set up to attract better kinds of patients, have your practice economy proof? And, I'm not trying to be the guy standing on the corner with the end is coming sign, but the economy is the economy. This is normal. This is the cycle that it goes through. And if you aren't preparing as a business owner for these boom and bust cycles, you're doing a disservice to your staff. You're doing a disservice to your family. You're doing a disservice to your patients. If you're not able to sustain your business to help your patients, to treat your patients, to provide for your family, to provide for yourself, you're doing everybody a disservice to not consider, look at the Dow. We had 2 consecutive 1,000-point drops a couple weeks ago. You saw how quickly things deteriorated in 2007 and 2008, right? Now, there were a lot of contributing factors in there, but we saw what could happen. And you owe it to your practice, your family, yourself to safeguard yourself from these. The 4 pillars approach is a surefire way to do it. It works in all economies. It works all across the country. We've got clients in Canada, Australia, England, Europe using them. We function pretty much in any primarily English-speaking country that is out there. If it's not English-speaking, we don't work in it because I only speak English and a little bit of Spanish occasionally. So I appreciate everybody being on here tonight. Again, if you want to claim that $50 Amazon gift card, we're going to give 30 of those away. The first 30 that sign up, 30 signups for our discovery call, right? Go to our website, click Get Started, and sign up there. Schedule a time to talk with Ashley, and we can get that show on the road for you. Let's see. Got some good questions. Boom or bust, we can talk about Alberta's economy. Yar, you would be the expert to talk about Alberta's economy. I don't pretend to know as much as you do, especially seeing everything that you've got going on Facebook. But yeah, that's where it's at. The consumer confidence. Interestingly enough, even though the economy has run up to where it has, the GDP is up. Everybody is bullish on everything right now. The consumer confidence levels are not running in par. They're not running at the same track upwards as the rest of them. So, that is an interesting thing that we're seeing, that why isn't consumer confidence following the market and following business? I don't know, but there's still a lot of holdout within the consumer areas. There's still a lot of people padding their mattresses with their money. And I think as the economy continues to show people that it is sustainable and, they don't have to hide that money under the mattress anymore, I think we'll see a lot more money coming out of the woodwork in the coming months, provided the economy stays in the place that it is. So $50 Amazon gift card. Get the discovery call. Go to our website, smartboxdentalmarketing.com, and we'll get that going for you. Let's look here one more time. So if you want the Amazon gift card, come here to our website, click this Get Started button. Fill out this form here to get started. So I'll leave you with that, and look forward to talking to all you. Thank you for bearing with me tonight. We did run a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I think I was able to get everybody a lot of great information. Hope everybody appreciates it. You're able to implement some of the 4 pillars approach into your practice. If you want, more of what our clients tell us is, when we go through our systems and processes, they appreciate the information. It's great information, but how do I tailor this to me? And how does this fit in really with what I'm doing? And if you want a granular look at your practice and how these systems work and how they can work for you, I encourage you to try the discovery call. We will have these practice roadmaps sent out. We'll be working with the doctors that sign up here to show them how a patient attraction system can help them grow, double or even triple their practice to create the bigger, better future, to attract more and better patients, and ultimately to help them thrive, because that's what we're all about here at SmartBox. That is my labor of love, if you will, with helping my dad in the beginning, and what we've been able to do with 600 or so clients currently across the United States that are with our patient attraction system, and thousands more that are using our products and information and books and DVDs on their own or kind of a la carte. Our rave review system is awesome. Text and email reviews directly to your patients. Our local search optimization, our local 360 is just badass to optimize your local search. If you're a doc that just needs a couple pieces patched up, we've got the tools for you. If you're looking for the whole system and you just kind of want to have it done for you and us guide you through the process, I encourage you to take advantage of the roadmap here, and we can help you to guide you through that process and show you. And if at the end of the rainbow you feel like it's a good fit and what we're doing is going to be a win-win for you, it's going to create and fulfill the vision that you have for your practice, then we can do business. And if not, the strategic plan is yours, no commitment. So smartboxdentalmarketing.com, click that Get Started button and discover what a patient attraction system can do for your practice. Schedule a time with one of our practice consultants, Ashley, there, and we look forward to getting you on the path to prosperity. So thanks, guys. I think I'm going to call it a night here, unless anybody has any last-minute questions. Going once. Going twice. Going twice. Any last-minute questions? Feel free to shoot me an email if you want. Have a good night, everybody.
Are you on the dental treadmill of low case value patients? Are you working too hard for too little? A SmartBox practice discovery session will show you how to get the patients that you want. And they're free to serious dentists who want to get off the treadmill. Come on, you see the link over here. Click here. Yep, click right there.